Should do the intro song. Oh, we could talk right now, guys. We're just waiting for people to come into the chat.
Oh, I
Hi.
wasn't for the song to come
Hello.
in.
Chris. I think Chris is gonna do the intro song once there's a few people in there.
Got you.
I think.
Correct. Dodgers are up 8-5.
Oh, damn. By three only?
Yeah, we were up 8-4. But that
I'm watching
changed.
the Mets and the Braves play. That's the only thing that's on ESPN.
Well, welcome in, Joel. Welcome in, bro.
All right, let's get it.
Twine like a vine, work your mentally found intellect. I raise eyes like the sight of a check. Let's take a trip inside of my thoughts. While I persevere on the mic like sports. Take me in stride, OC's worth listening. Watch the tricks of a hoe who's a vixen.
Yeah, welcome back, everybody. It is Tuesday night once again, 8:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. It is 6:30 in LA, right, Carlos? Welcome back to the show,
Yes, Cerritos.
We have a packed show for y'all today. We are reviewing the No Era Penal called today. So get ready for that. Steven, Joel, welcome into the chat. Steven asked if this is the AA meeting, and it is, sir.
Yes,
Wait,
it is.
no era penal. What are you talking about? It was a penal.
Yeah, we'll get into that in a little bit. Welcome back to the show, y'all. We got a good show packed for everybody. Feel free to ask questions, chime in on Twitch, whatever you guys have in mind. If you guys have a game in mind, throw it in there as well. Other than that, it is going to be a fun episode today. So I'm hoping that everybody is ready to party. We are going to start off today with our NHL Stanley Cup Finals, and I believe, Domo, we have some notes that you are going to go over. We have some videos that we will be playing. So Domo, go ahead and take it away, bro.
Oh yeah. So as you said, it's a Stanley Cup final, so there's only two teams playing, so there's really not too much going on. It's every other day. It's a 7-game series. They do it 2 at home, 2 away, 1-1-1. So since game one started, it's really been all Vegas. The first two periods, and the first game is in Vegas versus Florida Panthers. The first two periods were good. It was real close. It was 2-2, and then a late surge by the Vegas Golden Knights. They ended up winning 5-2 in that game. And then last night, it was a 7-2 shit kicking by the Vegas Golden Knights. It was 4-0 at one point. Bobrovsky from the Florida Panthers, he ended up getting pulled, and he's been nothing but lights out this entire playoffs. And he's won the Vezina before as top goaltender in the league, so he got pulled last night, and they were just lighting him up big time. There's been the physicality is what's expected. Both teams are big, and they like to fight. They like to hit. They're scoring goals and everything like that, but it's real physical. A lot of checks. There's a couple of hits. One of them I was gonna bring up. I don't know which one you have queued up first. We can do either one.
Just name me the person, and I'll put the. I got the Jack Eichel one.
So we'll do the other one first. Ivan Barbashev, ex St. Louis Blue, won the Cup with the Blues in 2019. He got traded to Vegas this year. He lit up Radko Gudas, and Radko Gudas, if you Google a picture of him, this guy, you wouldn't want to mess with him in a bar. And he's a tough motherfucker. And Barbashev put the reverse hit on him. If you look, Barbashev gets the puck, and Gudas is coming in to hit him right here, and he gets rid of the puck and lays Gudas out. He does the reverse hit on him. Normally, the puck carrier trying to make a play gets leveled, but that's just playoff. That's playoff hockey right there. That's experience. Another big hit, the second one, if you want to pull that one up.
This was from last night's game, right, Domo?
Yeah, this is both hits are from last night. Yeah, both hits are from last night. Matthew Tkachuk, who I've been talking about, he levels Jack Eichel. His helmet pops off. Jack Eichel's coming through the center. This is an old school hit right there.
Damn.
This is an old school hit right there. Coming through the center of the ice. Scott Stevens made his money doing that shit right there. Knocked his helmet clean off. If you let it play, it'll go slow motion. Eichel leaves the ice immediately. He sees the hit coming, so he braces right there, but nice clean hit. Helmet pops off. Head hits the ice.
Damn.
No penalty. No penalty. That's a clean hockey hit right there. And he kept his head up. That's what you're supposed to do. That's what you're supposed to do. He saw the hit coming, he prepared, but still, he's a freight train coming at him.
Yeah, he rocked.
Well, like thinking of like the speed that they both collided in, you know what I mean?
Oh
Like,
yeah, oh yeah.
That's
They're
what I was
flying.
gonna say, bro. What's crazy is that you just said his head hit the ice, right? And we always talk about like NFL and concussions and all that, and then this just happened, and he just glides away. Like,
Yeah,
all right, just
he-
gotta
he-
walk
he
this
knew
out
it.
real quick.
Yeah, you could see in his face. He got up and he's screaming or whatever, and he went straight towards the bench, or, towards the locker room. He left the game. I don't know what his status is right now, and he's one of their top players. I mean, this guy's badass. This is the first time he's ever been in the playoffs. He came from the Buffalo Sabres. He was number 2, second pick when Connor McDavid was picked. He was number 1, and Jack Eichel was number 2.
How do you say his name? Ivan Barbashek? Is that it?
The first hit was Ivan Barbashev. Yeah, he's from Russia. They call him Barbie. Ivan Barbashev. No, there's a lot of Canadians. A lot of Canadians.
That's crazy because, like, if you go look at like both those clips, right, when they both get hit like that, like Chris said, they just kind of get up, shake it off, glide away, and go into the locker room. And, if this was any other sport, that's like a 15, 20-minute timeout. And
oh my God!
Prayers and wishes,
Chuck said it best on it was on one of the Spit and Chicklets podcasts. He did an interview. This is round 1 of this year's playoffs. A player from the Winnipeg Jets took a scrum in front of the net. Everybody's fighting for the puck. Well, the goalie ends up going feet up in the air, and those things are razor blades, and it gets him up under the mask and tears him up right here. I mean, just like a hot knife through butter. He got 75 stitches and came back out, and he finished the game. They didn't win, but he was black-eyed and everything. 75 stitches in the locker room, put a mask on him, came back out. But Charles Barkley said on that interview that if anybody in the NBA had 75 stitches, they'd probably retire that game. They're not coming back out. I mean, Anthony Davis left in a wheelchair. You know what I mean?
That's because he had to poop.
Injury, bro. That's it.
That's because he had to poop.
Hey,
Domo, I don't get what the hate is on Anthony Davis, man. You always pick on him.
It's just because of that. I like it. I like Anthony Davis. I know he's a good player and everything, but dude, to leave the game in a wheelchair and then you still play the next game. I mean, if you're leaving in a wheelchair, you gotta be hurt. You know what I mean? It's the same thing in like the NFL.
All Peters did the same thing.
Yep. Yes, and they brought that up as well. But like in the NFL, they do the same thing inside 2 minutes. If you don't have a timeout, it's a delay a game. If you have a timeout, you burn a timeout. But inside of 2 minutes, if you're faking an injury or laying on the field like, oh, I'm hurt, you better be hurt or else you're going to get penalized. You know what I mean? So, like, to leave the game in a wheelchair and then come play the next game, like, you know what I mean? Like, it's like you really couldn't have been that hurt. I guess they're taking precautions, but, I mean, how bad could it be?
Yeah.
It was bad. It was bad.
He had to be in a wheelchair.
He had to be in a wheelchair. It was bad, bro.
What do you think would make a good fit in hockey in the NHL? Let's just say from football, starting off from football, like right now playing, or from last year, I guess, playing, who would be a good fit in hockey? With athleticism, as Carlos likes to say.
Athleticism.
And then, just brute strength like that. Like, I would have personally liked to see, like J.J. Watt. Or, Derrick Henry.
No, so to go with that,
Nick Bosa.
Derrick Henry, I could see that, yes, but at the same time, that's a big dude. He's not built for that.
Yeah,
just like in soccer and stuff like that, this is a lot of back and forth. Yeah. Like, I'd say like a DK Metcalf. He doesn't have all that weight on him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's huge. If you look at a lot of he's huge. He's huge. If you look at a lot of hockey players, they're big motherfuckers, but they're not like Derrick Henry and shit like that, where they're just like stacked. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. Exactly. DK Metcalf comes to mind. I think, and he's got speed and everything like that. So his quads, everything like that is real strong, just like Derrick Henry. But he's got a lot of mass with him that comes with it.
I would like to see Juju Smith-Schuster get knocked out like that while he's doing a TikTok.
He has in the NFL.
I like to see Jackson Mahomes get knocked out like that.
Yeah, that's true.
That dude makes me cringe.
Yeah,
I thought Dom was gonna say AD.
Yeah.
Put AD on the ice in that wheelchair and then let somebody run his ass.
So obviously, right now, Vegas is up 2-0 in the series. They went through them last night, right? I think the final score.
Big time.
Pulled up, Chris. It was like
final score was 7-2, and Bobrovsky got.
Hey,
pulled.
Domo, you think it's over, Domo?
Nah, not at all. If you remember in round 1 when the Panthers played the Bruins, and the Bruins, keep in mind, the best team the NHL's ever had dating back to day 1 all the way up until a couple months ago. That's the best team that's ever been in the NHL. They were down 3-1 to them and rattled off 3 to win. So then they lost 1 to Toronto and they swept Carolina and they've been off for 10 days. So maybe that's part of it. At the same time, Vegas is no joke. They're big boys just like Florida. They're just going to have to shake this off and regroup and figure out an answer, because you go down 3-1, it's going to be tough to come back on them. Just like any team in the playoffs, the best of the best are there for a reason. So
Do you think
Don't
they,
wanna go
they
down
make a
3-1.
comeback? You think it's going to be a comeback story from Florida?
I picked. I've said a couple times on the podcast. I picked Vegas in 7. So in order to win in 7, you got to
Yeah.
lose 3. So
Yeah. What about you guys, Chris, Carlos? Yes or no?
I had Vegas all the
Florida
way.
Panthers.
Yeah,
I think
I know. I know we
Sorry, go ahead.
no, I was gonna say I know most of us had Vegas. I think Chris was Florida, but
Yeah.
you think they make a comeback regardless, or I mean, regardless of our picks because we've been wrong all season. So,
Well,
do you
the
think they make
NHL.
Florida makes a comeback? I mean, it's doable, right? Obviously, it's just any other sport. You're not out till
Well,
you're
yeah.
out. So
Yeah.
Any given day, baby.
in this case, any given
Well,
day.
it's a one game at a time now.
Yeah.
Yep.
Steven said Rob Gronkowski almost went to the NHL. Yeah, I had heard some rumors of that he would wanted to try out for a couple teams or whatever. I also did hear though that if Brady comes back, this is a side note, but this is just because I read Rob Gronkowski. If Brady comes back, that Rob wanted to come back, but I'm just like, all right, you guys both need to stay retired. That's
I saw something the other day that Brady said he's for sure retired.
Yeah, he's
Like he said, I'm for sure not coming back after getting the Raiders or whatever.
Yeah. Thank God. Gives more chances to other teams.
As he should. Nah, he's old already. He's done.
Yeah.
Coach
So
Mack
with
wins
the
the Super Bowl.
for real, imagine with that NHL though, as it keeps going. When's our next game, Domo? Is that tomorrow or is that Thursday?
No, 2 days travel. It'll
Okay,
be
so
down
2
in
days travel.
Fort Lauderdale. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So now that it's going to Florida, is it the same structure like it used to be in like 2 a home, 2 away, then 1-1-1?
Yeah. So if Vegas has, since they're the higher seed, Vegas is 2 at home, then Florida 2 away, then it's 1-1-1.
Okay. So I mean, it's not over yet though, for sure.
No, not at all. No.
I know. We've talked about like
Well, it ends
following
in
the
Vegas,
sport.
right?
Yeah, they're
It's
home.
like-
Game 7 would be in Vegas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know we've talked about like home ice. I'm sorry about like staying with the rules and following it. I did send a link to Chris that Instagram had actually posted. I don't know if you could pull that up, Chris, if you have
The
it.
picture of the ice and like the different rules. They post them like every other day or something.
Yeah. So they've been posting it
different,
more
yeah.
often. I'm hoping if Chris can find it on his DMs that I sent him that he can.
I think it's
pull
on
that up.
NHL.
Yeah, so we can show everybody. So it's just very generic and it's very like a simplistic way to kind of follow it. But
I thought you meant like literally pictures of the ice.
No. The
No.
little thing I sent you I think it was like 2 weeks ago, so you can pay attention
Bro,
to
you
it.
sent that like Sunday, bro.
Oh, Sunday. To me, that's 2 weeks ago. It's been a long week
Okay,
already.
yeah.
It's only
This one, right?
Tuesday.
I know. I woke up this morning. I thought it was Wednesday.
Yeah.
I've been
All right.
depressed
Yeah.
all day. It's
Yeah.
been
This
bad.
one. So this is. I don't know, Domo, if you want to kind of break it down or explain it a little bit, just to
He's
kind
like,
of.
to be honest, I have no idea what I'm looking at.
Yeah, because I know Chris
So-
had questions on it too, so that way we can kind of
No,
get everybody
I
involved.
said
in it.
I said it would be funny if Domo was like, "Oh, I have no idea what this is."
Oh.
So the only thing I can't speak on is like a long time ago. It was before the NHL's had a couple of lockouts. The most recent one I think was in like the mid 2000s. I can't remember, but they made a rule change with the red line, and that I can't speak on because I don't know what the difference was. But all this is saying really is the red line obviously is the center of the ice when you start a game, where that blue circle is on the center ice. On the red line in the center. That's where you're going to drop the puck. The neutral zone is in between the 2 blue lines. That means yes, a team can have possession, but they're not in any type of zone. It's literally just a neutral zone. The blue line separates neutral zone, obviously, to the offense or defensive zone. So there's another one. I don't know if you have it. The blue line plays a big part because let's say you're starting at the bottom of your screen, right? And you have the puck and you're going across the blue line. You cross the red line. When you go to the next blue line, you can, as a teammate, you cannot enter that zone, the blue line, until the puck has entered the zone. If you do that, that's offsides. The play's dead. Go back. At the same time, when let's say you make a clean entry past the blue line, your offensive team, you're in the offensive zone, you're trying to score. As soon as the puck goes past that blue line, the entire team has to get on the other side of the blue line and then re-attack again. You can't just stay inside the offensive zone if the puck left. The whole team has to retreat. If the puck comes back in, it's an offsides.
Yeah, Chris, does that make sense with like how we were saying it was offsides, kind of very similar to how soccer's offsides work?
Yeah, I started watching videos on this as well because I'm tired of being the only guy left out of hockey. So
Yeah, bro.
even though the season's about to end,
Get your hockey up.
Get your hockey up. Let's do that hockey.
Yeah. Yeah, but I thought that this was a good thing, and like Domo said, the NHL on their Instagram has been posting these like every other day, I think it's a good way to kind of read through it and actually understand it a little bit better. Because I know a lot of people have issues with like the rules, like wait, what does this mean, or what do those blue lines mean? You know, why are they doing a face off? You know, stuff like that, and the NHL's Instagram has been doing these. And I think it's to grab more traction and, you know,
Absolutely.
include more fans into it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they're trying to grow the game in any way possible. They've tried doing it a few times. They started doing it again this year. A lot of people don't like it. Like if you're like a hockey fan, you've been watching it, you don't like it. But they would put a tracer on the puck. So like when the puck would go flying down the ice, there'd be like a little tracer behind it to make it easier for the eye to follow. Like if you're a new fan or have a hard time watching the puck. A lot of people don't like it, but those are mainly people that are like been watching hockey. It's like distracting to them. But at the same time, what they're trying to do is get people into it.
It's kind of like in the World Baseball Classic. MLB posted videos of how to understand baseball, just for those new fans that are barely coming in just to support like your country or whatever. So yeah,
Right, exactly.
I like these ideas, especially for me.
Absolutely.
Domo, quick question from the chat. Lil Leo's asking, how does this affect the fights, though? You know, in playoffs and when it comes to the fighting in NHL.
So Gary Bettman, the NHL commissioner, he's got a reputation very similar to Roger Goodell. Like all the fans hate him, they boo him, and all that stuff. But Gary Bettman's done a lot of good stuff for the NHL. He's expanded the game bigger than it's ever been. The players are making a lot more money than they've ever made. The teams, the owners of the teams are making a shitload more money than they've ever made. So with these lines, like the red line, blue line, offensive zone, defensive zone, that really has nothing to do with any type of fighting. It depends on where at in the game. Like if you're up 2-1 and you're trying to protect a lead, do you want to start a fight or take on a fight because you could potentially go to the box, that kind of thing. With that being said, the fighting's way down in the NHL. It's not like it used to be 10, 15, 20, 30 years ago, especially 30 years ago. Fighting is still present. The refs break it up a lot, and a lot of people think that that's Gary Bettman, the commissioner, saying like no fights, no fights. But at the same time, the whole point of fighting in hockey, no matter what level, whether it's minor league, the NHL, the Russian league, and the KHL, Canadian hockey league, it doesn't matter, is the referees are human, right? So, and the game is so fast in hockey, they're going to miss calls. At the same time, the players, especially from the bench, they're watching everything. So it's more of like policing the game from a standpoint of like if this official misses this call, and I'm going to go over there and have words with this guy, and he misses the call again, then we're dropping the mitts. And it's up to the other player. If he doesn't want to fight, he can still get his ass whooped, but the penalty's a lot worse on the player throwing the punches. If you agree to fight, they could both go to the box. It'll be a neutral type of penalty. But a big thing is it's the players kind of policing the game to make sure that you don't have some guy out there taking advantage of your teammate and your best players. And the refs, you know, as soon as the ref turns around to break something else up, this happens. You know what I mean? It's kind of a way of policing the game. But fighting's way down. But to answer your question, the lines and stuff like that really don't have anything to do with fighting or have an impact on fighting. Like if there's going to be a fight, there's going to be a fight, no matter what side of the line you're on or what.
Now, is there any like possible way that the NHL could go away from fighting completely? Do you think?
That's what they're trying to do. The Quebec Hockey League, they've already, I think this next year, there's no fighting allowed, period.
Wow,
which a lot of players are pissed off about that, coaches, owners. That's going to have an effect on the game. And I don't think Gary Bettman, he wants to eliminate fighting. They cite concussions and stuff like that. Yes, concussions happen, but most of the time concussions happen off of like the hits we just showed. Those are concussion type hits.
Yeah. Things
like that. Usually when there's a fight, both players get up, kind of shake hands, you know, good fight, whatever. They go to the penalty box and everything like that, and they play the next game.
Two, they'll be all right.
Yeah, exactly. Gary Bettman is trying to get fighting done with. I don't think it'll ever be completely gone. Like in the regular season, you see fights here and there. You'll see them more in the playoffs a little bit, but not like you did 5, 6, 7 years ago, and especially 20, 30 years ago. You don't really see it like that. Organized fighting's out, where they literally drop the puck and you have like a bench clearing brawl. One of those happened 2 years ago. Capitals versus the Rangers. There was
I've seen some of those videos.
Yeah, there was a couple cheap shots taken at the end of the season prior, game 82, and both teams didn't make the playoffs. And then when they met for the first time the following season, they handled business, and it
That's
wasn't
so
like scripted, but it was like, hey, the Capitals knew, hey, they're going to come after us, so they sent their guys out, and when the Rangers saw that, they sent their guys out, and then it was just a full on five
so
on
as
five.
soon as the puck drop is on.
Yeah, yeah, they dropped the puck, and then gloves just came off, and everybody grabbed somebody and just started swinging.
Hopefully, hopefully somebody can throw in a steel chair in there, and we'll really have some action.
Yeah.
God
Domo,
damn.
Joel said that he wants to watch a hockey game with Domo. That's what he said.
Yes, let's do it.
So whenever you're in Dallas, we'll go watch the Stars. Or
Yeah,
if
we watch the Stars, yeah.
If Houston gets the Arizona Coyotes,
Arizona Coyotes, yeah, if it ends up going through, you never know.
Hey,
I think it'll be over a year from now. I think they're in contract to play at the ASU College Arena, which they played at last year. I think they're there for another year, so they're going to be in Arizona at least another year. So it gives them more time to figure out like what they're going to do.
Yeah. Also, yeah, Leo, I see your chat, bro. He says I'm trying to throw an octopus on the ice because I know some. So there's some teams that are certain things that they do. Like some of them throw rat. Obviously, when you hit a hat trick, everybody throws their hat. There's teddy bears that they throw.
Yeah.
Fish. Can you explain the octopus one though before we move on from it?
So like the full backstory, I don't really know the full backstory, but I know in Vancouver they do a lot of that shit. They throw octopuses on the ice. In Nashville, they somebody will bring in a big catfish and throw a catfish on the ice. It's Nashville, Tennessee, that kind of thing. Usually with the rats, like the toy rats or whatever, that was a thing back in the day. They'll usually do it with like a rat player, like Brad Marchand from the Boston Bruins. He's a rat kind of player. He's really good, but he gets under people's
he's a rat type of player.
Yeah, like he talks shit. He'll take little dirty cheap shots at you, like when nobody's looking, But he's good though. He's like he can fight, he can skate, he can score. But he's a dirty player. They call him the rat because he gets under your skin. Like it gets you off your game. You know what I mean? You start taking shit personal.
So he's a snitch.
Yeah, I'm about to say he's a rat.
He's Takashi 69. He's a snitch.
That's great, man. Yeah. So do you have any closing arguments or closing segments for the NHL, or was that all you had for today?
No, I think that's about it. I mean, this series, I know the scores don't show it. If you watch the game from beginning to end, even though the first one was a 5-2 and the second was a 7-2, the physicality is big time. It's just one of these teams is going to break, and eventually there's going to be a hit where somebody's going to take it personal, and then it's really going to change things. And I think that's what Kachuk's trying to do. In the first game, he got a double minor and kicked out of the game in the third. It was 4-2 at that point or something like that. He was giving everybody the face wash. He'd hit somebody in the face, turn around, and just put his hand in the other guy's face and just wash him off while they're trying to break him up. Like he was just getting under everybody's skin, just wreaking havoc, and that eventually takes over, gets in your mind, gets you off your game, and that's what Kachuk's good at. So I don't think it's over. I know that the scores look like they're blowouts, and I guess they are if you go by the score, but the physicality of the game, the hits, the speed, it should be a good series the rest of the way.
It still has potential to be a good series.
Oh yeah, and especially going to Florida, that building's going to be rocking, and for all we know, Kachuk and the boys, this is perfect. Here we go, and right where they want them. You know what I mean?
All right, so because you said they have 2 days of travel, and then we got 2 games in Florida, then back and back and back, right?
Yeah, and then Vegas, Florida, Vegas.
So Chris, final take: Florida coming back or no?
Yeah, I'm sticking to my guns, bro.
Carlos,
coming back.
Oh, they win one more, it's over, and they
think
can
it's a
smell the
sweep?
blood.
Yeah, that's true.
They can smell the blood
And
already.
then Domo, final. How many games?
I'm still sticking to Vegas in 7. And to answer your question, on Thursday at 7 p.m. is going to be the Florida game, Vegas Florida game.
Okay, cool. So Vegas. I think
On
Vegas
TNT.
still wins it. I don't know. Remember what I said, but I'm gonna go with Vegas in 5 now.
I think Chris, you had Florida in 5.
Yeah,
What you or me? I can't remember. I was like, why? Like, why do you have them in 5? Yeah.
it was me.
Yeah. So that's wrong.
That's incorrect.
Yeah, that one's incorrect.
I mean,
all
I
right,
said
well-
Florida in 6.
Yeah. Yeah, that's still doable. So thanks for that, Domo. I think that was a great informative one. Again, guys, while we're on these, if y'all have questions on any of the stuff that we're talking about or If you want to know why the hell they're throwing an octopus or a catfish, like feel free and ask in the chat or shoot us a message on Instagram. But yeah, we'll keep you guys updated with the NHL stuff. The NHL will continue and we'll keep an update till next Tuesday. Now, moving forward though, on the other finals, they don't play on ice; they play on floor and hardwood floor.
What a
The
thing
the
to say. They
hardwood
play
floor.
on floor.
yeah,
Sound like
the
Charles Barkley.
they
When a
play.
guy is banging you from behind.
I love that clip, bro. I love that clip because Shaq is like he couldn't even hold a straight face, bro. It was hilarious. But we're gonna go into our NBA final segment. Right now, the series is tied 1-1. Carlos,
And
you
what a
got
series it
some
is.
stuff for it? Go.
Great series so far, and people thought so dominant the first game that they out for the second game, but the Miami came out aggressive. I come out aggressive. They were attacking the rim, and honestly, they were not hesitant on taking shots too. That's what I really love. There were no hesitation on, but built their confidence throughout the whole game. I mean, even though the Nuggets did come back at the end, but they were relentless on keep on made tons of threes. But the good thing is, I think they kind of slowed a bit
Yeah.
and really stopped Murray as well. Jimmy on Murray, and like he locked them down because Murray's name wasn't mentioned too much. Even though he did take the last shot for the no to tie, and he missed, but
So can I talk
Shaw,
about that real
he
quick?
did. Yeah,
So for that shot, bro, you see the Joker on his right, and he's wide open, and Jamal Murray literally looks at him and takes the shot. He misses, obviously, but my thing is how good of a captain in my eyes Joker is, because he didn't look down on his teammate. He didn't be like, bro, I'm white. I'm right here. What the hell, kind of thing. Yeah, he didn't do that. He was like, all right. I mean, it's because it's kind of like what Draymond Green said about Klay Thompson. You know why they keep feeding him the ball whenever they were still in the playoffs. Why
yeah,
not? The guy has been solid all year. So has Jamal Murray, has carried the team through the Lakers series, is killing it in this series. Maybe not the game two, but in a sense, you trust the guy with the ball, and as a good leader, let's feed him the ball so he can perhaps make the shot. Who knows? If we would have made it, we'd be talking about a whole different ballgame right now.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to bring that up because a lot of people have been kind of
yeah. I still would
roasting
have
him,
gone
and I'm
to.
like, what?
I mean, even if he made the shot, it's still overtime. We don't know what could have happened as well. But it didn't turn out that way. Miami won. They tied it series now. Now the series is going back to Miami, and it's so funny. Hockey and that series is going back to Florida. This was going back to Miami. Yeah, so
exactly, yeah.
everything's cracking down there right now.
It's gonna be
So
crazy in Florida right now.
Florida's gonna be popping this coming week.
popping right now this weekend.
Yeah, we're gonna get a
E-
lot of
even
those
though
Florida man news breaks and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Like
Yep.
Florida man
Yeah,
chased an
stuff like
alligator
that.
naked down the highway or some shit.
some shit like that. Shoot up a Ferrari car's tires or some shit.
Something, bro.
Yeah.
Something's gonna happen.
But
Florida,
yeah, but I
Florida
think the
Gator
series
shot
is
a
about
three
to
and made
pop
it.
up.
Somebody throws a gator on the court,
I watched that game.
a live gator, and it's attacking.
Yeah, I'd watch. Carlos,
With a dead-
are you
with a-
thinking? Carlos, on your honest opinion, bro, were you thinking Denver was gonna sweep too? How they
No,
started that game yesterday or the other day?
Oh, I mean, yesterday Miami would kind of had the lead from the get go. They had. You mean game one? After game, one, yeah, I heard a lot. Yeah, it's over. They look so dominant. They look too big for Miami.
Yep,
It-
that was all the
but
comments, bro.
yeah, that's all I heard. Miami's there for a reason. They've beaten number one. They've been. I mean, they've looked to get there, and I don't think
Yeah.
they're gonna let up now in the finals.
Hmm.
I highly
Being
doubt
that
it. That's
close,
gonna
huh?
happen.
We gotta
Yeah,
also
they're
remember
not.
what we were talking about last week. Whenever we were talking about the breaks that they've had, the Nuggets had a huge vacation to say the least.
Hmm.
And I've always been
Uh
the
huh.
type of person that says, and you know my standpoint, a break usually breaks. Apparently not. The Nuggets came back with full energy. They were ready to ball out, and they did. And
You
in
can
game
tell
two, I guess it was all it needed. So I mean, the scores. Game one score, you could definitely tell that they were dominant throughout the whole game.
Yeah.
But game
the
two was close
whole
to the
damn
wire.
game. Yeah,
It's the same
but
thing in the NHL.
Go
In
ahead,
the
bro.
NHL, that we were saying the Florida Panthers, they swept their last opponent, so they had that large break. Same thing like Denver. You know what I mean? They were off for all those days, 9, 10 days, whatever it was. But it's the argument. I heard it the other day. I forget which podcast it was, but rust versus rest. Like which one's better? You know what I mean? You rest,
yeah,
you got the rust. If you don't got the rust, you didn't get the rest. So
Wait, Domo, you're listening to
Ye-
other podcasts, bro?
Yeah, I was about to say that,
uh,
bro.
no, I already told you I get most of my hockey shit from spitting chicklets. I
But
just
yeah,
regurgitate everything on you.
yeah, I agree though because like that wording, I guess, rust versus rest or whatever,
Rest.
because it's true. I mean, if you look at it, you take a 10-day rest period or whatever it is, and you were playing so hot already. This other team has been playing hot, and obviously, granted, Miami pushed it to 7, with Boston, but they still had that momentum flowing in their way. They were coming with a little bit more pressure, and Denver's been chilling. And like you guys said, game one, obviously, you could tell Denver was a little bit more dominant from the get. Game two, it
oh, of
shows a little
course.
bit wear and tear now
I'm
because
back.
it's like, okay, Miami's been playing back to back to back games, as
Yeah.
often as possible, and now you have a period where Denver took a big rest, and now they're kind of even Steven now. I'm excited to see where this goes though because I have no idea like what's gonna happen because
And
I
because of the
still
way Denver plays.
it, it's kind of like what well, I think Carlos said it was gonna be back to back to back to back, and
Yeah, back and
push your
forth.
game
yeah,
Yeah,
seven, bro. Push your game seven.
yeah.
yeah.
Push a game 7
But
because if go go.
also now it's going back to Miami. Miami haven't lost at home, and I don't know games already, so that's huge coming in. I don't think they
Mm.
lost in that at home in the playoffs. But
What
anyways,
I
but
was gonna
also
say
you
too.
remember they had
Okay.
Boston at 3-0.
Yep.
Boston, they had Boston at 3-0. Remember that. So that
Yeah.
their dominance came out right there too. And I think they have a lot more to prove. I think Jimmy is due for a probably like a 30 game, something like that. He's due for something like that as well. So it's coming. I mean, I'm having fun.
What I
Unfortunately,
was
of
gonna
course, the
say.
Lakers are not there, but
Uh.
I'm having fun watching it anyway.
Yeah, yeah.
What about just being home? The Miami fan base is nuts. You know,
They are.
yeah, I'm not knocking the Nuggets fan base, but honestly, Miami has championships on their backs. So just having that fan base, just being in Miami, I think that's gonna play a huge factor. I think it's what you just said too. They haven't lost at home. That I don't know is a fact, but I'm just repeating what you said. But they're at home, and I don't think they'll win both games, but they're gonna put up a huge fight and catch a dub on one. But I don't see them losing both at home.
To go along with what you're saying about the Miami fans going nuts and everything in their championships, you got to keep in mind too they're the number 8 seed and they've had to grind all the way here and they're just coming off a game 7 and they're playing the number 1 contender. So you know the fans are going to be boozing and going crazy
Oh hell
because
yeah!
they're the underdogs. They're the underdogs.
Uh, and honestly, a lot of people are not talking the other All Star players. I mean, Eric Poster, coach of Miami Heat. I think he's hell of a coaching his ass off right now. Especially throughout the whole playoff. I think he's been out coaching a lot of coaches out there, and I
Oh
think
yeah!
he's not getting as much as respect as he should because this is a match you go right. He's been taking this Miami Heat um, now, so and I think he should get some respect. And also, I mean, he's already got championships under his belt. So
But
that
why
says
do
a
you
lot
think
too, and I think he
why do you
knows
think
how to get it.
Coach Spo isn't respected though? You know, I know that's kind of like an odd topic, but it's the finals, and I don't see a lot of people like even putting them in a category of a great coach. And he has championships
I
under his
think
belt.
I I kind of feel like it started when he had LeBron. He didn't get it then because, well, look at the team you got. You got
Yeah, you got
LeBron,
the
you got
huge
D
biggest three
Wade.
ever.
Like, it's
You
not
got
you,
Chris
bro.
Bosh.
You just sit
It's
down,
all
coach, and
hers.
just the
Enjoy the
front row
show.
seats. You know, yeah, just sit down and enjoy the. So I think it started there to me. I think it started there, and but even then, he still had to coach these guys. He went to practice. He still had to coach them somehow. You know, so and I'm sure he had to draw plays. You know, and so I think now I think if he gets this chip, it's gonna be huge for him. I think for sure his name will be. It's,
Yeah. So, you know how last week we talked about Tyler Hero coming back and making a potential comeback, and then everybody was like, "Well, maybe it's probably for the best that he doesn't," because they have been playing well without him. So, I wanted to read a thing that he got interviewed before Game Two, in his pregame routine, and he said he told me that he told me he experiences both soreness and swelling in the right hand after shooting, and he can feel soreness when he's making his follow through motion. He also shared his consideration of not wanting to come back and mess up the rhythm of the team. So he's also on the same page. He's like, man, I don't want to
Yeah.
come back and ruin something that's well oiled and it's kind of running by itself. Like they're taking care of it the way it is. Obviously, granted, him too also saying like my hand's still sore from breaking it. That makes perfect sense too. But it like we talked about and we
or he
discussed about
could be
last
just
week.
saying
True, true. He could also just be
Come
saying
back
that.
at game 7,
just
drop
for the
50.
team
Yeah.
and still lose.
So I still think though that like he is a benefit to the team coming back, but if he's actually saying, you know what, like maybe it's for the best that I don't, like the team's been running well, then it goes to show his character, one as a ball player, two as a team player, you know,
Yeah.
that it's not just about him. You know that he's more concerned about getting a chip than coming back and scoring 20 when he could easily come back next season and be reigning champ. You know what I mean? Does that make sense? Like
He still
in that
gets a
picture,
ring.
yeah, he still gets the ring regardless. He stayed with he's with the team.
Anything can
So I
happen.
just kind of wanted to bring that up because he was supposed to make a comeback already, but from his words is that he's not ready yet. So he may not come back. So he may not come back this
Yeah,
year.
if I was him, like it's sounding more like he's not gonna come back. Just he'll swallow this one for the team, and he'll keep saying, "My hand feels sore, then my finger, then
Yeah.
another finger." Just linger, until hopefully either they get the championship or not. But yeah, like he's probably not gonna come back and not try to screw whatever they got going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's working.
Yeah, and it's like you guys
Working,
said
man.
all last week. You know, like
They're in
why
the
fix
fucking
something that
finals.
doesn't need any fixing? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like so,
don't change the winning lineup. Don't
exactly.
change the winning lineup.
I think
So
that's what Domo brought up last week.
yeah, and I think it's good too because you can look at it both ways, right? A very key player coming back, but also the team's obviously been doing well. Like Carlos said, they took the number 1 seed, bounced them out of with Milwaukee, then they beat the number 2 seed in Boston. So, you know, whatever they're doing is working. Because remember, Tyler Hero went out in that Milwaukee series. That was their first series. So he went out that series when Giannis went out, and then
And still won.
now and they still won exactly
Yeah.
and they were dominant, you know, so now you're
Oh, they
going
were
into the
dominant in that
finals.
series.
Yeah, I think they won that
Oh,
series 4-1,
yeah.
right, if I'm not
Yeah.
mistaken.
Yeah, they killed
And
that
Yeah.
series.
yeah, so I think that him staying
Shocked
off
everybody.
and whether it's fake or not, like that he said oh, you know, my hand hurts or whatever, but I think him making the choice of like I'm not ready yet, the team is doing good without it, like don't need to rush anything and break something else, you know what I mean, or if it's not 100% healed, which
If
a
it ain't
broken
broke,
hand I can't imagine that it that it heals right away, you know, in
That's
4
what I was
weeks.
gonna say.
But yeah, so I just thought that it was a cool thing to bring up that you know he had mentioned like yeah I'm not ready yet, and also the team's doing well without me. But like Chris said, he would still get a championship ring regardless, on the broken hand or on the right hand. It doesn't matter.
No,
On other,
he got him through the season. So
Yeah,
just
Yeah.
a random thing. I don't know if you guys have been following, but I have followed this trophy around the world, bro. This thing's been everywhere.
that's funny. They're taking pictures with it everywhere. I know it was at a
Yep.
couple WWE segments not too long
Yep,
ago,
it sure was.
right?
It was in New York with the
Ever.
Stanley Cup last week.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, I saw that too. That's dope, dude.
This thing's living better life than me.
It's lived a better life than all of us.
That's facts, bro.
For sure. Greatness has touched that trophy. All right, out of all the trophies, which one is the best one? Out of your
I'm
top
bi- I'm
four,
biased.
right? Out of your top
biased.
four, you got your MLB, your Stanley Cup, you got your NBA, and you got your Lombardi in football. Personally,
Okay,
me,
Okay.
I'll go first. I personally like the Stanley Cup more out of all of them.
Okay.
One, it's a heavy ass tower. Two, like the names and all that. I just think there's so much history, and they get to party with it.
I'll be biased. I'm going with the MLB.
The
You
pennant
know,
flags.
Yeah, just the amount of games they have to endure. You know, the amount of blood, sweat, and tears they got to push through too just to win that trophy. I'll go with them.
Domo,
I'll go next.
Go ahead.
Simultaneous. Obviously, I'm going to pick the Stanley Cup to go along with what Misa said. And at the same time, with the Stanley Cup, when you win, not everybody gets one. There's only one Stanley Cup. You get a day with it, and you have the summer with it. When the season starts over, you give it back to the cup keeper, and then defend. You got to defend it. The next person that wins it, that team gets it. So there's not everybody gets one. Nobody gets to keep one. It's one Stanley Cup, and you hold it as long as you defend it, and that's it. It's similar to like a belt. You know what I mean? Win the belt. You hand the belt off if you lose it. You have it as long as you defend it.
You know what, bro? Can I change mine? I'll choose the World Cup. That wasn't.
Nah,
an option.
nah,
I
you
think
know-
that trophy's the best. The World Cup
You
has
said,
to be the best, bro.
you said MLB blood, sweat, and tears. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
Well, he didn't put that in the playing cards.
Okay, honorable mention.
Honorable mention. World
that
Cup.
was that's what I never mentioned, bro. But
I
I'm gonna
agree
think
with
The World Cup, that'd be dope. Yeah, that'd be dope.
Carlos?
I'm gonna go with the Lombardi.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think
We all
it's
had different
nothing,
takes, huh?
Nothing,
Yeah.
nothing
Oh, no,
nothing
you would
bigger
go-
than hoisting Lombardi up on Super Bowl night.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's when everybody in the world is watching. That's
Yeah.
you can't beat that.
That's true.
Can't beat
It's
that.
definitely on the bigger stage for sure. Bigger
Yeah, I
stage.
was about
Everybody's
to
watching.
say
Biggest
the
stage.
exact same thing. Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
the biggest stage, bro, and you're
You can't-
hoisting that.
It's hard to compete with the
motherfucker up.
NFL, no matter what you are.
Steven in
Yep.
the chat said the Olympic gold medal, which, yeah, that's true. It's iconic. World Cup and 24 hours with the Le Mans with the racing trophy, which also that's a whole nother monster by itself, right? Like Le Mans racing and all that. But
Oh, God,
the gold medal one to me is interesting, right? Because you have different categories and you can win multiple, like in different like races and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Which is why I guess I didn't mention those, but I should have, because like the World Cup is like you're battling people all over the world.
over the
It's
country.
not just in the
Yeah.
U.S. And I think that's also
Yeah.
big. You know, like
Mhm.
the Olympic gold medals. También, you're battling everybody
Stop him.
from
best of the best.
different countries. You know what I mean? And you're trying to be the best of the best. And then you get to be able to be like, I'm an Olympic gold medalist, or I won the World Cup. We are the reigning champs for 4 years.
At the
Like,
same
that's just
time-
tight.
At the same time, you asked what our
Yeah.
favorite is, so it's your opinion. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, exactly. Also, the WWE trophy. Why not? Fuck it, throw it in there.
Hey, you can
The belt
Oh hell no. Hey, but you can
Bro.
also
cracks me up.
you can get both. Like hockey players can have a gold medal and get the Stanley Cup.
yeah.
True,
So-
true.
hmm
Get a gold
Yep.
medal and a hoist.
So every
So-
sport, every
Absolutely.
sport can get
Absolutely.
every sport.
Except football. Football can't.
No, football
can only
can't.
get the
You can't.
Lombardi and the
That's it.
CFL and XFL, but they can't get a gold medal.
The who?
Why can't they
Yeah,
get
but
both
you have
of them?
CFL and XFL, and the top of the pyramid is the NFL. So like,
Yeah, exactly.
whether you win the XFL, that's like a lower grade. You know what I mean? Like a minor.
Wait.
I guess, minor.
In the NFL, you can't compete for certain like strongman things.
Oh,
in the
they can,
Olympics?
but in their
But it's
in their contracts, yeah, it's
football.
not. And also, what Carlos
Football
was
is not in
mentioning-
the Olympics.
'Cause-
Yeah,
no,
exactly.
I know
It's not
that.
in the
But what I was
Olympics.
gonna say, whenever y'all brought up the Olympics, wasn't like an NBA or a basketball segment in the Olympics. I was thinking like more of their athleticism, like Carlos says. To
You still said it wrong.
yeah, that's what I was mostly thinking. I wasn't
Yeah,
thinking of the
I see.
actual
I see what you're
basketball.
saying, Chris. I see what you're saying. But what Carlos was trying to, or was attempting to say, was like, there's a sport, and you can win the gold medal in that sport, not like
Ah, I got you.
individually. You know what I mean? But yeah, like also like football.
Yeah.
If I'm not mistaken, I know that their contracts do have injury clause where they cannot be like active on like World's Strongest Man, like you said. They can't be doing this.
Yeah.
Like there's certain contracts that they cannot do that stuff. Same thing with MLB. Like the MLB, you can't be riding a motorcycle for X amount of speed or whatever. Like all that stuff is
This
like
last
moderated.
this last Olympics, the excuse me, Gary Bettman from the NHL, he said our players are not going to the Olympics because they're under contract. So you have
Exactly.
Connor McDavid, the best player in the universe, and hockey gets hurt outside of the NHL. They just lost their star product. You know what I
Yep.
mean? So yeah, so
That's
for the
exactly
NHL,
what.
the last Olympics, they said no NHL, at least players under contract aren't going. Minor leaguers can go, but the NHL guys, the starters, they're not
No.
going. They're
Yeah.
not
So
allowed to.
it's
I
like
have an
with
honorable
the
mention.
WBC. Okay, hold
I
on,
was
hold on.
gonna say that about
Yeah.
the close Edwin
Edwin
Diaz
Diaz.
from
Yeah, that's yeah.
the closer for the Mets. He got injured in the WBC, and he's not
Yeah.
playing.
And then he's out
Yep.
for the season.
Yep.
So that's
Yep.
why Carlos, go ahead with
Mhm.
what you were saying, bro.
Honorable mention.
A ver.
It's not. It's not really a trophy, but to win the green jacket at the Masters.
Yeah,
Ah,
that's up there.
I had a feeling someone was gonna bring that up.
That's
I
up
thought
there.
you were doing.
Good. That motherfucker. That's just for you.
And then Tiger Woods is wearing all five of his. He's just got all five
Yep,
of them
all
at once.
together and shit.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah,
Steven said
that-
fucking Buffalo Wild Wings Spice Challenge shirt. The blazing t-shirt.
Pendejo.
All right, well,
That's
Carlos.
real, thank you.
Carlos.
Hey, can we
I think-
record? Can we record Domo just and then
use
press
that
it whenever
Use
you
sound
can?
guy.
Pendejo.
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, we'll bring that for sure. Sound guy, you're on that.
I
Can you do
got
that?
it. I got it.
All right, cool.
Pendejo.
All right, Carlos. Right now, you just
Said it
mentioned
again.
Hit record.
you just mentioned
way.
the green jacket. Go ahead and jump into. I know we had some golf this weekend. We'll jump into this, and then after the golf segment, we'll go into our call today to review.
Cool.
Yeah, for sure. This with the Memorial Tournament. This is Jack Nicklaus's tournament. Uh, the Golden Bear was in the building in the golf course. But it was a pretty good tournament. And usually pretty memorable. Tiger Woods definitely's got some under his belt.
Mhm.
Tournament, it came down to literally the last hole. This guy all he had to do is make par on literally the last hole, and like
Yeah.
Dang.
it was bad. And
McCar-
then
it was
he lo-
McCarthy.
literally- and then yeah, Denny McCarthy. Not
No, but
he's been in PGA for a little bit, but he lost to Victor Hovland. That he's damn good. Victor Hovland is
Yeah.
he's really good. He's been winning. Well, he won this tournament, so they went to a playoff, and Denny McCarthy also choked again. He pulled it off and came up short, and and tour they make these so tight. He hit it right before the green, and it rolled back all the
yeah.
way back down.
Yeah.
And he had a chip. He ended up bogeying, and Victor Hovland put it on the green. Easy win, and he got the handshake from Jack Nicklaus, and I guess it's a thing at Jack Nicklaus's thing that you go have a downstairs. I guess in the locker room they have a bunch of people making milkshake. It's a thing that in Jack Nicklaus's tournament, but
Yeah.
entertaining tournament. It came down to the last hole. Had a little playoff action, and it was good. It was good. Jack Nicklaus, I'm pretty sure time himself.
What's crazy is when Victor Hovland went to the 18th, he teed off and he went far right, almost to the next fairway in the rough.
Yeah, yeah.
It went to the clubhouse, and then when it goes to the playoff, Victor Hovland went a little bit to the left. He was up against the fringe on the fairway, but
He was right on the line.
He went all the way. The same thing Victor Hovland did earlier, and I felt so bad because McCarthy he had been grinding the whole tournament, worked his way up. And I mentioned earlier how Roy McIlroy was up and down, up and down, up and down. A lot of players were. Simu Kim up and down, up and down, up and down.
Sheffield too. Sheffield was there too. Sheffield was there too.
He made
always fucking there.
And McCarthy, I felt bad because obviously they interview the winner and the loser afterwards, and you could hear it in his voice. He was choked up, man. And he was right there, and he bogeyed on the 18th, and all he had to do was par. You know what I mean? And when you're a pro golfer like that, it wasn't no fucking 40-foot putt. It was right. It was right there. It's makeable for somebody like that, you know. And he bogeyed it, and the pressure just got to him.
Man, you can hear it in his voice. They can hear it in his voice. It cracked, man, and I felt so bad.
Yeah,
like he was.
I felt
like
bad,
that tear went back into his eye somehow because it was coming out.
Yeah, and he said right now I'm feeling defeated.
Yeah, it broken. He's like, I'm heartbroken.
Yeah.
But every like to win in the PGA Tour, man, it's hard.
Oh yeah.
You know,
to win and be relevant.
He climbed himself up there, and to just at the 18 and he choked. Still had a chance on the playoff and choked as well.
The nerves got to him.
It's so damn tough, but it was
going to bring up real quick.
Though, and yeah, go ahead.
Sorry. So news broke today that the PGA, along with LIV and the World Tour, or whatever, they've all teamed up. It's they're going to merge together, so it's like one giant.
Really?
Golf. Two things. So like that's going to be really good for the game of golf because you have all the top guys competing together, and there's not this beef where like a bunch of people left, a bunch of people left. But I just looked on ESPN right now, and John Monahan meeting with the PGA Tour golfers that said no, fuck LIV and all that other shit. We're going to stick with the PGA. It got heated. They're calling him that he ain't got no balls. He's what did it say? He's fake because he was saying, if y'all leave the PGA Tour and join LIV, you're not welcome back. That was what he said, and now they're going to merge together. So the players are like, so all these players that left PGA to go to LIV, just to go over there, they were signing $30 million sign-in. Boom, here's $30 million. Thanks for coming. Whereas Roy McIlroy and all them, they're like, no, we're sticking here. We're not going to take that money. And now they're all going to join together. So now the PGA players are like, what the fuck, man? I just missed out on a huge payday trying to be loyal. And then now we're all going to join together? That make no sense. Like,
it's about.
That happened today. It was earlier today.
Yeah.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Thank God. Thank you for telling me that because, that's about to stir up some good drama.
Some real shit.
Because McIlroy. Fuck y'all.
He's the face of the PGA. Yeah, he was the face of the PGA.
Yeah. Say, well, fuck Mickelson, like straight up.
So the golfers,
everybody else backed him up. Tiger, everybody's backed him up though.
Yeah. So in the meeting with Monahan and the current PGA golfers that didn't leave to take the money, the players in a meeting were calling him a hypocrite. That was today.
Yeah, because I thought he was standing firm on this. I thought he was standing really
exactly.
firm. Like, okay,
that's what the players thought too.
Bounce, get out.
Yeah,
but you ain't coming back. You know.
And I think and now they're all going to be
the majors though, because they come back for the PGA championship.
Yeah, the majors is something different. Like the U.S. Open, the Masters, all that stuff. Yeah, it's something different.
They can't get no FedEx points. They can't. Prestige really over there, other than money, but that's damn. I hope they would. That
no, they
know
did.
That would
it's
create
done.
More. Yeah, see, that's going to create a lot of turmoil.
The PGA players are pissed because they could have just left and got all that money.
Yeah, there might be some clubs coming out and not swinging for the golf ball. You know what I'm saying? Imagine, man, there's never been a freaking golf fight. That would be
Oh,
insane.
dude.
They're probably watching the
That
Stanley
would,
Cup final. That's why.
So like some
that'd be a time
Happy Gilmore,
event.
Bob Barker.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be
Oh man.
epic and shit. Rory
Oh my
McIlroy
god.
sucks shit,
Dude, could you
on
imagine
the
the
green.
PGA would be like the #1 sport in the world after that?
Yeah.
It would go viral
And there's
immediately.
fights. There's fights.
Oh my
There's no
god.
refs. Who's gonna stop them? There's no. Shit. Yellow card.
Yeah. Well, that's our golf segment for today. I know we're running a little bit tight on time. So thanks for that, Carlos and Domo, for putting the input on that tournament. Chris, I think it's time for our call that we are reviewing. Today's call is going to be a little bit controversial because it is a no era penal from the World Cup
No era
from
pendejo.
Mexico. So you guys already know that it's going to be a little bit controversial because it was a big issue back then. Still is an issue to the day. They have not forgotten. Chris chose this one, so Chris is taking the lead on this one. I think you have a video and all that. So whenever you're ready, brother, go for it.
So this is let's travel back in time for a little bit. This is the 2014 World Cup hosted in Brazil, and this was Mexico versus the Netherlands. So this is already in round of 16. So this is eliminations already. This is already, this is where the fun starts. And Mexico was leading the game, the first portion of the game, by Giovanni Dos Santos scored the opener goal, and then second half came in and Wesley Schneider. If I'm probably pronouncing that wrong because they're Netherlands people, so
Yeah,
all their names are
their
super
names
odd,
are
bro. Yeah, so
Wesley
yeah,
Snipes.
Wesley Snipes scored. And this whole game is also one of those games. If you actually look back to it, I actually did watch a big portion of the highlights and then try to catch up as much as I could with the resources available. But this game was one of those, or this match was one of those matches where there was a lot of missed calls. The VAR system was not as consistent as it is now. So there was a lot of not penalties, but flags thrown, cards given where there shouldn't have been, cards where there should have been, but just never was. And this is also where Robin, a loved from the Germany, what's it called, Bayern Munich. He played there for years, and he was loved there, but he's hated by Mexico, and I think he's going to be hated till the rest of his life because you know how Mexico fans are, especially with soccer. So I'll play the video, and then we'll talk about it, and then we'll kind of all chime in, all right?
Joel did say you said the name right, just FYI.
I did? Oh,
Yeah.
wow. I thought I said that wrong. I still think I said it wrong. All right, but here's the video. We'll show the first couple seconds of it, where it happens, and then obviously where Mexico gets the heartbreak. So that's the fall.
That's a penalty if I've ever seen it.
Puta.
That's the fall face plant, and there's the goal.
Llorar.
Goalie though, for sure.
All right,
That's
so
a
what do we
penalty,
think?
bro.
What do we think, boys?
Can you rewind it
I
a
think
little
that's
bit
penalty.
to the
The first one? Like the one
Yeah.
that's like...
to
all let's
right
go
there?
here.
Yeah. From that angle, it looks like it, but then this angle,
It looks like he did
touch him.
nothing. So the main
Contact's
thing...
right, bro. The contact's right there.
So the main thing that...
It hit his
that the
ankle. It
Netherlands
hit his
fans-
ankle.
the main thing the Netherlands fans
Ankle.
claim on is on the way to this play, on the way to the actual fall, Robin had been robbed of 3 penalties because he had already fumbled. And when I say fumbled, I'm talking about his full body kind of like grasping for the grass, getting himself back up, and not letting the play die. Then this
So
one
they
was
gave
the
him
one that
that
was
one.
called. Yeah, they gave him that one. They were like, "Oh damn, we missed 2. We don't want to do what the Saints and Rams did."
Here you go.
So like if I thought I saw the video. There was a video right on the border on. That's where it happens. Here, I'll find it real quick. If one of you guys can take the lead for this, and then I'll come back because I
So,
just want to find that clip real
back
quick.
in that time, like Chris had said, like VAR it wasn't what it is now. 1, 2, he is also known for flopping, and a lot of football football / soccer. Obviously, this is what I'm talking about. So a lot of football, athletes are known to flop, and also it is very known that in the MLS, the World Cup, the Euro leagues, all that stuff, flopping is huge when it comes to playing football, and it goes to show again
It's part of the
how
game.
it's part of the game. And he has come back out in an interview and he says it's football. Like it is
Yep.
part of the game. It is the way it's been. It's always been. It's gonna be that way.
Forever.
You if you can get the ref to look at it and be like, oh, that was a penalty, without him actually going into the VAR system, like they're most likely going to give you that penalty. It's just the way it's always been. It's just the way it's going to stay. So unfortunately, it's part of the game, but it does suck because clearly afterwards it went viral. Everybody, the No Era Penal chant and all that stuff for one. Two, looking at it years later, you still look at it and you're like, that is very
I feel like
acting.
I feel like
It hit his
you're right.
foot, bro. He hit his.
That is a part of the game. That is a part of the game, and it's never going to go away. But I feel like that drives a lot of fans away from the game. Now, don't get me wrong, soccer and all that, they have a shitload of fans. I get it, but like, there's a shitload of people that don't like that because of like all that fake bullshit. Like, oh, my
was one of
leg's
those for
broken,
years, bro.
and then they jump up and like run around and like they're happy. And, you know what I mean? Like AD leaving in a wheelchair and playing the next game, it's the same shit. You know what I mean? Like, no, I'm
so-
on a different level. You know what I mean? It's the same shit.
So Domo, I've actually talked about this. I don't know if on the podcast or directly to Misa, but there's a reason why I stepped away from soccer, football, however you want to say it, and it was because I used to watch the Mexico League a lot, like Chivas, America, Tigres, and they are by far, in my eyes, they fall for everything. And so that's what got me to step away. Then Misa brought me into the Premier League. The World Cup
Yeah.
obviously drew me crazy in. But that's a huge reason, bro, why I feel like a lot of people do not appreciate the sport of football because of that, because of all the falls. Now let's look. Let's
Yeah,
look at this play
100%.
real quick.
Yeah.
Look at this play. This is on the way there. Look at
Oh,
that.
damn.
Was not called at all. Nowhere.
That one wasn't either, yeah.
So
But see,
this
like the
is.
second one right there, it looks like the momentum.
Here's
trip.
a penalty.
What the?
I don't know who that is. Hold on.
Who's that guy? Who the hell's that guy?
That was the actual guy who made the play.
Yeah. So the second stumble there, it looks like it's the momentum of him trying to like get up real quick, and he trips over the guy. Granted, that could be also called a penalty at that point. I agree with that. The third one, the deciding one, obviously that they did call. Obviously, Mexico got eliminated, which sucked because your Latino culture, you're rooting for them too, because El Salvador's never in it, so why not? Mexican brothers, here you go. But so it does suck seeing it because it does. I don't know. My opinion, it wasn't a penalty. It didn't look like a penalty then, even after like that night watching it over again. It didn't look like a penalty. The angle of it was trash to me. I don't know. It's that mafia mentality again, where it's like, is this rigged or not? I personally didn't believe that it was a penalty. I think that it should have just been called and played through, just like normal, and then who knows what the outcome would be.
They would have gone
I
to
don't-
overtime, but
Yeah, I don't know y'all's opinion on it, if it looks like it, or is this another one where we're just agreeing on it again?
so for me, bro, I chose it because this is so controversial. Especially you got the Mexico side, then you got the rest of the world, and then
Yeah.
But just going off of just the camera angles that you had in the moment and the technology in the moment too, which wasn't too bad because this is 2014, and you got to remember, football, FIFA has crazy techology. They have so much.
I was going to say
money.
2014. It's still pretty
Yeah.
recent. Like
It's pretty recent.
there's still
Yeah,
some good
it's not that-
technology.
So,
Yeah, it's not that far. It's
but
not
the
60s.
camera angles that they went off of,
Yeah.
because now there's camera angles like every
Everywhere.
other foot, bro. So like back in the day, I mean, even in 2014, it wasn't as strict as it is now.
Gotcha.
But either way, I still just looking at it, I'ma say it. No era penal. Just in my opinion, I know everybody's gonna come for me. That's fine. But I honestly don't think with the information provided, I will just say it was not a penalty.
Yeah, I don't think it was. Y'all's opinions?
Man, I think it was a penalty. It hit him right in his foot. I mean, you can't see the contact there. Honestly,
I feel like
I
he
mean,
farted and he fell.
he should
like the moment.
he should not even. Honestly, in that era, stretched out a leg to try to even like try to kick
I
the.
think it's the the energy, bro. It was 90-second minute already.
Yeah. They
This
were
is the
already
game's
in
over
Yeah,
now,
I mean,
bro.
but that's not being disciplined. You in that box,
That's true.
you're stretching out. They're gonna call it, bro. Minutes exactly like you said. It's a 92-minute. Even the refs is intense right now. They know it's the game's coming
yeah,
down.
it's
It's
game
1-1.
deciding.
Yeah, it's
they,
coming down 1-1.
they
They
had
haven't
they had
gave
dinner
this fool
plans
two
already.
penalties, so they have to give him one. So, no. So
They had dinner plans
yeah,
already.
to
They
me,
already
it's
had
a
the
penal,
date.
bro. It's a penal. It's a penal.
All
It's
right,
a
so
penal, and
Carlos says penal. I say no
Domo.
the
penal.
máquina,
Domo.
the máquina anaranjada wins.
Yeah.
So I don't watch a ton of soccer. I watch the World Cup when it happens and everything. I kind of keep up with it. I watch Italy every now and then if it's on. Mason, me and you watched that game at Brewski's. It was a good game. So I don't know too much about it. I'm gonna say no penalty only because of the diving, the flopping. That's the only reason why I'm gonna say that because it did hit it hit his foot, his ankle, and all that stuff. Why did he go? Why did he throw himself? You know what I mean? Like he got hit from behind, like boom. Like I'm gonna say no penalty just because I feel like he dived. I mean, it's just like that little tiny little hit on his foot or whatever it was on his ankle transferred all the way up to his upper body and he went flying through the air. So like I'm gonna say no goal or no penalty just because I feel like he dove.
Yeah. So that's the thing. Soccer or football, is known for flopping. Just like everybody also says in the NBA, they flop a lot, which they do flop a lot in the NBA.
I've seen
And
LeBron get a
yeah,
little tap right here and all of a sudden he goes flying into the bench.
flop. So it's well known that sports do end up flopping like that.
just-
Especially top two sports like that, NBA and the World Cup, to say the least.
Yeah,
So don't come at me for watching WWE because at least it's scripted, but they're still beating the shit out of each other. I just want to say, quick, Steven, he did say soccer is a contact sport. Unfortunately, contact was made and it was a penalty. And then Joel said it was a penalty by the slightest of margins, but it could have gone either way. Which, it could have gone either way. Obviously, it went the opposing way of Mexico. But it could have not been called, in my opinion. It wasn't, and it shouldn't have been called. But both of those comments are correct because it is a contact sport. Anything can change that, and it really comes down, like we say in every call that we review, it comes down to the discretion of the ref that saw it and that called it. So, and at the end
when
of
you
the
say
day,
when you say contact sport, what exactly do you mean? Because there's
Yeah, I was gonna say the same.
I don't feel like that's a lot of. There's not much contact going on. I feel like compared to other
like
sports,
a
it's
contact sport, it's not like the American football. It's not like National Football League, right? Like
Of
the
course, I
NFL
get
or
that. I
hockey
get that, but
or basketball. But in contacts, because they are able to brush each other, they are able to slide tackle, they are able to tackle
Yeah,
themselves
they use their
out.
hands.
They use body movement, so that does qualify
Yeah.
it as a contact sport.
Right.
It's just not as contact
for sure.
as like baseball isn't really a contact sport because right there you're playing, it's 1v1 against the pitcher and batter, right? And then
I feel like the only contact in baseball is if you have the ball in your glove and you tag the runner.
and you tag
There's
and you
contact
slide.
there, but-
Exactly. So it's not considered a contact
Yeah.
sport. But soccer
Yeah,
soccer
okay.
is
Okay.
because of the tackles that they do, because they are able to brush off with their shoulders. With
Well, I don't like it, but all right.
So this
I'm
is
joking.
Going back to the contact thing, it is you're correct. The way you phrased it and everything was correct. So it is a contact sport. Personally, I don't really agree with it though because you shove them a little bit too much, they call it.
Boom. Exactly.
It's called
Exactly.
So it's. I mean, I agree with you. I'm not fighting you, but it's just kind of one of those things where if it was contact, there would be a lot more kind of pull to it in the sense of
Legal contact where they wouldn't just
legal
call it.
contact. Like even if you like not in the elbow, but you shove them with your shoulder, that's called. There's not a lot of wiggle room in those rules, to say the
And
least.
it also depends on the ref at hand.
That's that's
You,
fact.
you
Well,
have
yeah,
seen,
that's
seen
any
refs
game.
that will take a slide tackle and they will wave it off like, nope, clean tackle, go ahead, and there was actually no contact on the ball. So it also
Especially
depends on
in
the
the
refs
playoffs.
at hand. Yeah, especially this is the World Cup going to quarterfinals.
In the playoffs,
right?
sometimes the refs let the boys play, and it gets a little
Exactly.
bit more aggressive than normal.
Exactly. Before we go into our MLB and then our closing segment, and we close this one out, Joel said Rafa should have never stuck his foot in there. There was no need. Completely agree. Steven did
See?
say
Told you.
leveraging body weight to overtake, no force with limbs, or else it's called. So that's technically the term I guess you could look at for contact in that sport. I think that this was a great call, Chris. Good job on calling this one because I think that this was the first one that we've done that not all of us agreed on. Carlos said that it was a penalty. People in the chat also say that it was a penalty, and we say that I said
Si
that it's
fue,
not.
güey.
Domo
Si
said no,
fue,
and Chris
güey.
said no. So I think it's a good call because this is the first one that we actually kind of not disagreed, but just had different looks and different angles.
Yeah,
of it.
different standpoints.
Granted, if this was last year's World Cup, I don't think that's called a penalty personally because of the VAR system, how advanced it is.
Yeah.
Do we
In
have?
my
No?
opinion.
I think
They
so.
would. They would. That would have been called, bro. There's no way. There's way too
Right?
many
It wouldn't
cameras.
have, right?
No.
Yeah. So yeah, that's just my take on it to kind of like close it out is that if you look at it in current times now, it wouldn't have been called with how
would have been
advanced
done with
systems
AI.
have gone. Yeah, exactly. So unless it was Cristiano Ronaldo because they call that fool's penalties all the time. So definitely.
That is the first time I've ever heard you hate on CR7.
I'm not hating on him. Whoa, he is the greatest. He's not the greatest. Messi's the greatest. Don't come at me, Steve.
Yes, correcting that. Thank you.
So
Can I ask one quick question before we go to the next segment?
yeah,
No.
And short answer. I know we're running. I know we're running short on time.
You can't.
I'm still gonna ask it. Maybe the people in the chat want to answer it. How do
Go
y'all
fuck yourself.
like legit? Yeah. Not yet. Who said that? Who said that? So, legit, how do in any sport? I know soccer, and we already talked about like the flopping and the diving and shit like that. Legitimately, how do you feel about that? Like for me personally, like diving and like faking that shit, that ruins it for me. Like in any sport,
I hate the flopping, bro. It's the most annoying thing in the world.
That's
In
why
any
I cannot get into it. Like,
Yeah.
it's just like
It's annoying in every sport. Obviously, we're talking about two top sports, right? Because soccer is a worldwide sport.
absolutely, yeah.
It's way bigger in the Euros, obviously. And then you
Yeah.
have your NBA, which is also huge for knowing that they flop a lot. I hate seeing it because, for one, you see it a lot with top tier talent because they are so good at provoking it. You know, like a flop scenario in a sense.
They
James
get
Harden
the
was
calls.
big on it. Yeah, they get the calls for them. It's a big name in soccer. You know, you see Messi every now and then take a flop too. You see Cristiano Ronaldo do it. You see all these top tier players. So I hate it because it does ruin the sport for a lot of different people. And I think that we're in a time frame where if soccer is going to get big in the U.S., it needs to be something that everybody is attracted to. And there's a lot of fans that are on the same page as you are, Domo. Like, I don't watch it because of the flopping. And I steered away from it for years, too. I would just watch every now and then. But I got back into the Premier League and I got back into, like, selective teams. But because of I just like the sport itself. But
Yeah, but
I
you
agree, it
also
ruins
watch
it.
wrestling though.
yeah, exactly. But I agree though. It does ruin the sport for a lot of other people that you don't want to watch it.
Like I said, I can't. It was a legitimate question. I know I'm making jokes, but like, I just can't get over it. Like and obviously, anytime you slow mo anything, it's gonna look way worse. But I mean, even in real time, it's like, dude, and his knee's about to come apart, but his teammate scores, and he jumps up and runs and celebrates. It's like, dude,
Yeah.
what the fuck, man?
Yeah,
Like,
exactly. And then
I don't know.
Steven said something right now in the chat, and it's spot on. It says sports is full of buttercups. This is the age we're in. Soccer, basketball back in the 80s was not like
Yep.
this, which is true. As time changes, the players get softer. They learn how to do these flops. So it makes perfect sense for it to be.
It's almost like it's like a tactical move, like it's a game plan.
Yeah,
Like,
for sure.
If you get over here and
No,
this
for
player
sure.
comes at you, dive.
And you don't think all these kids that are watching, or even high school players, college players, they're watching this. They're like, "Well, I need to learn how to flop good because
Yeah,
I want those calls."
yeah, how to play it
They're
off.
already like training for that. Like, bam, hit. Practicing flopping. I'm pretty sure they are, because like
And that to me, as if you're a
Messi.
competitor,
I'm gonna get called for that too. Then Ronaldo's getting called.
that's
for, I'm
as a
gonna get called
competitor, to me that's messed up. Like, I completely
That's
get
to
what
me
you're
too,
saying, but it's
because-
like, if you want to be the greatest, it's like, dude, I gotta fake being injured to like get the call. Like that's, you know what I mean, instead of being real.
More,
You know what I mean?
it's of course there's more flapping. Of course, you know. I mean, you gotta still be athletic, have a and
Well,
but,
yeah, athleticism.
yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I
It,
think the
it just
flopping
sucks, but
is a lot worse now than it's ever been, especially in the day and age that we're in. But what I do like though is that a lot of sports are implementing a lot more reviews on certain calls.
Like reviewing the
That
call.
refs, yeah, that refs are able to go into the video room and actually review the tape
follow us.
because it was getting out of hand at some point. At some point, it was like, dude, you could blatantly see that they didn't even touch him, and
Yeah,
he like snapped his neck back, pretending it never
exactly,
happened.
exactly. Yeah,
So I think,
But they still
yeah, I
called it.
think that the leagues are pressing it more now. So I think that there is going to be a lot less. Well, hopefully a lot less because it's sports that you don't want to see tarnished, or ruined by that.
yeah.
Um, so yeah, I agree with
Right.
you. I think the flopping sucks. It ruins the experience for new fans that want to come watch, soccer or whatever, watch the MLS or watch the Euro leagues. It also ruins the stuff for the NBA too, because the NBA is huge on flopping, and I hate that shit because you want people to watch the sport that you love or whatever that you grew up playing. Like that's what you
Yeah.
want. But yeah, I think that this call today was dope. I enjoyed it. It was a great one. Chris, before we go into our top three, do you have something for baseball today that you
Yeah.
wanted to pick at?
Power rankings. We can talk
Okay,
about that maybe like
go ahead.
5 minutes or something because
Yeah.
time is
Just
Sorry.
the
I don't even
essence.
want to mention it, but I'll mention it. Dodgers just lost 9-8.
Yep. That's what I was
Close
gonna say. So
game.
Damn
thanks,
it.
thanks for just taking that from me. Okay,
Oh,
so
All right, next segment.
so power rankings. It's actually almost exactly the same. I pulled up both so you guys can see. This is last week's Tampa at first, so that everything stayed the same. What shifted was Dodgers moved up one, and the Braves moved down, and Houston went down as well. Um, the only thing that I really want to say about baseball right now is, and I think we caught about last week, was that there is a lot of high scoring games right now. For instance, like tonight, the Dodgers and the Cincinnati Reds, 9-8, a grand slam was hit today, and it's all the homer obviously wasn't due to that, but the fact that a lot of players are being on base right now is because of the new shift rules, the bigger bases, the time crunch with the pitch clock. So, because there was a lot in that, I was watching the play. In the play where we got three batters on, one of those was walked, one of those was um, a strikeout, but the strikeout was because of the pitch clock. So this is coming into play a lot, and then that's how we got Freddie Freeman up. Luckily, and he hit a grand slam. The Astros, I'll give them some praise yesterday. Um, 11-4 against the Blue Jays. I pulled up the score right here.
Damn.
Another grand slam hit by I don't know him, Corey Jolks. He's a left
Never
fielder,
heard of
but
him.
point is, yeah. A typical Astros fan doesn't know his players, and then so
I'm not necessarily a Nashville fan either, so
I'm just
go fuck
kidding.
yourself.
Okay.
I'm just fucking around. I'm like,
So, but you see how many at bats? 46 at bats in 9 innings.
Damn. Yeah, that's crazy.
37 for the Blue Jays. So, there's a lot of players getting on base just due to strikeouts from their previous because of the pitch time, or walks because of the same thing, pitch time. So I just think this is definitely changing the flow of baseball in the moment. I think we were talking about it in spring training,
Yeah.
but it's definitely coming into light now, especially where we're doing the home stretch now, where we're now in June. So we're gonna start seeing those power rankings really line up to where teams are gonna start lining up for either they're gonna go for a playoff run near October or whatever the hell is gonna happen.
Yeah.
Because this is where teams start getting tired.
Yeah.
June and July is probably like June, July, August. Obviously, are exhausted for these players because one, they're away most of the time, or they're home but they're playing consecutive games at home.
So,
exactly.
so I want to
Can
say
I
something.
Oh, go ahead. Yeah. Go after
Just
you. Go
real
ahead.
quick before we move over from the power rankings. So, Chris, that's power rankings from yesterday. We actually do have a new number one power ranking. I just sent it
Oh.
to you on Instagram. So and it's shifted a lot more from yesterday. Stuff.
way,
so
bro.
yeah,
That
that
was-
was yesterday's power rankings. This is today's. It was
Where'd you get this
6
one
hours
from?
ago.
MLB?
Yeah, a BR walk off. So, but there
Is this,
is a
like,
new
real?
number one. Yeah. They're verified through MLB Network.
Okay.
it sounds like that that pitch clock is having a big effect, and I like the pitch clock.
I like it. Yeah.
I feel like it's messing with pitchers' heads, like they're not ready to throw the pitch quite yet, and that's why it's more walks, more home runs or whatever.
Wow, that definitely
I could
did
be wrong,
change.
but
I
Yeah.
want to
So
know.
that changed a lot. The Rangers went up in rankings. The Astros are 3. LA is 6. Yankees are 5. These are just power rankings. This isn't MLB
Yeah.
standing rankings, but the power rankings are huge because it's showing like, oh crap, like
The momentum,
the
like who has
is there.
momentum.
Yeah, like the Diamondbacks.
Hey,
Are
can I
making
can
strides.
I can I say something about all that? I mean, about all the changes right now.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
because this is the first season, right? I you seeing like literally change though right now. Like we're seeing it changing
It's
because
history.
this style right now is literally like changing right in front of our eyes because
It's gonna be a
normal to them, and we're actually seeing
Yeah.
it it's
Yeah,
transform
I
to
didn't think about
this
that.
new
That's pretty
baseball.
crazy.
It's a new baseball, it's we're seeing it, living it. We're going to baseball games, and we're seeing literally the change come
Yeah.
through, and that's pretty crazy. That's happening, and yeah, our kid, it's normal, but
This is the new
we were
normal.
here, changed,
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm
exactly.
sure, like over the years,
Back
Like-
in my
like there's been
day,
small changes, but
yeah. Because think
like right
about it,
now,
how
like you said,
how
there's a
how
lot
we
right
saw
now
it
changing.
when it changed.
Yeah, I
The
mean, it's
biggest-
definitely changed like 1,000% from when we started playing ball.
Yeah.
Like so many rules have changed, and now bases are bigger. Obviously, you got your pitch clock and stuff like that. So yeah, I think we need to build a league where we let them use steroids and see what really happens.
Juice the balls.
Yeah, and
who,
push
who
the
said
balls.
that? Omar. Omar
Omar
said
had
that.
said that initially on one of our episodes, but yeah, I wanted to
But-
share this power ranking because it's
it's
shifted
crazy.
a lot more. And
Well, can I show this too? I was gonna bring this up because we haven't given praise to these pitchers.
yeah,
But
yeah,
This is a pitcher power rankings as of this month. So Shohei's number 10. Here, let me take this off. Shohei, Zach Gallen, Joe Ryan, Marcus Stroman, Bryce Elder, Luis Castillo. That's top 10 through 6. Then we got Framber Valdez, Astros pitcher. Man, this
Dope
guy is
pitcher.
absolutely lights out, bro.
dope pitcher. bro. I
Anytime,
like him.
anytime he's on the mound, he's calm and collective.
I
The
like
one
him a lot.
person, the new Astros team is really if you're not following the Astros and you're from Houston, I don't know what you're doing.
Yeah,
Then you got Nathan Evaldi. This guy was lights out, even in the show when I used to play with Misa. So, he's 4. Sonny Gray. I don't know him. I'm gonna be honest with you. Plays for the Twins,
I like that
though.
Minnesota uniform though. Pretty tight.
Yeah, I think there's a
Look at that mustache. You saw that next one?
Spencer Strider.
Spencer
Look at that
Strider's number
mustache.
2. That's the beautiful.
Looks like a cop.
The stash game.
Look at that.
He's in the stash game.
He's gonna pull you over.
motorcycle.
He's gonna pull you over for sure.
They put motorcycle
You're getting a
cop
ticket.
though, not
Yeah.
not in the cruiser.
You're gonna get a ticket. That's what's gonna happen.
Oh, for sure.
He's on the horse,
for
bro.
Sure.
He's on the horse.
Yeah.
You are not getting out of that ticket.
And then number 1 is Shane. He plays for the Rays, and he's well. They were number 1.
McClanahan. So
Yeah.
Flanagan.
just since we pulled up the power rankings for this week's, the Rangers are number 1. Crazy to see. But also on breaking news for the Rangers and Rangers fans, Jacob DeGrom, their biggest signing in the offseason, is
Oh.
out for the season. Unfortunately, as a starting pitcher,
Tommy John.
he's having Tommy John surgery. So that really sucks, dude, because he is such a, like Chris was saying, the word that he was using, a lights out pitcher. Jacob DeGrom is that exactly. So having them being high ranked as they are, and then now they're going to be missing their ace, it sucks to see. But supposedly he's missing 12 months. So you're talking about next season that he'll be back,
Yeah.
maybe.
So I would love to say that because Jacob DeGrom, like you said, lights out. Like I said, lights out. And but when we talked about it when he got traded, bro. He
Yeah.
is a great pitcher, yes, but
Make it
he is injury prone like
Yep.
crazy. He is Anthony
Agreed.
Davis in the MLB.
Well, there you go.
And I'm not someone to enjoy when a player gets injured. Obviously, I don't think anybody is.
Yeah.
But the Rangers spent a lot of money on a player
him.
that, actually the Rangers have spent a lot of money in general
Mhm.
with
Well,
all the
yeah.
players they have.
Yeah.
But to get him from the Mets and for him to get injured, and we're not even halfway through the season yet.
No All-Star
know?
break. Yeah, he's
Yeah.
out for the season. Tommy John, you don't come back from. I mean,
Yeah.
we as Dodger fans are still dealing with Dustin May's Tommy John. Like he's finally back in his stride.
exactly. That's
So
last
and
year.
that was 2021, like when he got hurt. So
And he's still not 100%.
and yeah, exactly. He's
Nope.
still not 100%. Joel says if the
Nah,
Dodgers don't
he's
beat the Rangers on 7/22, I'm going to be so mad. That's the game we're going to. So I
So,
agree.
I mean, but look at the Rays are number 2 now, and Astros are number 3. And Astros pitching squad, bro.
Ah,
Pitching squad.
that bullpen is nasty.
Yeah.
yeah, they're
It's nasty.
it's
So here's the
deep.
thing, though,
It's deep.
and this happens in every sport. Your top 5 are always on rotation. It always is. Top 5 becomes 4, then 4 becomes 3, then 3 becomes 5, and it just kind of like they kind of rotate like this. And if you keep the momentum in these power rankings, you're gonna be top by the playoff time. You know what I mean?
Yeah, of course.
If you can stay healthy. Granted, there's already so many injuries happening, especially on key players missing for so many different teams. Like the Blue Jays, Alek Manoah, he's being dropped down to Florida now to their like minor league team because his ERA is a 6.24 or something like that. That is 6 earned runs a game. There's no
Damn.
way you win games
Damn.
with that many earned runs. You know, that is intense.
Yeah,
so
that's true.
You start getting cuts like that. People start making call-ups. Dodgers are making call-ups from their farming system. The Yankees are seeming to like make collection of everything and grab everything at once. So it's definitely becoming a great baseball season now. Now is the time to start following it. But yeah, so that was our power rankings for this week and our sports talk for this week. We're
Bro,
gonna
the
get
A's. The A's just stay at last.
oh
bro.
the A's stay in 30. We're gonna get.
When I was real little, I played for the A's.
Look at the
My little-
Padres.
Yeah, I was the Oakland A's. We fucking sucked. It was the A's and the Cubs. When I was real little. We fucking sucked.
Look at the Padres. Who would have thought, right? Padres with the
I
big
thought
expenses they made
I
off
told you
season.
they were gonna be ass this year.
Phillies, Trey
Yeah,
Turner. Oof,
Joel,
man,
I
crazy.
agree, bro. Just wait till they move to Vegas. Yeah, once they move to Vegas, they'll make some moves. New facility,
they're
new
not.
fan bases. We'll see what happens. They'll still be number 30, but whatever. Maybe might be 29. Who knows?
Yeah.
The 29
Maybe
power
about
ranked
31.
A's. Yeah. So that's our sports talk for today. We reviewed the Era Penal controversy. Obviously, before we get into our top 3, thanks to all the followers that we have. I know one of our videos on YouTube started kicking off soon. They did remove one of our videos because we actually used the video from the WWE Network, and they removed one of our videos. They flagged it because it is copyrighted through them. So we're hoping that
Vince
doesn't
McMahon.
happen. Yeah, we're hoping that doesn't happen moving forward. We're going to get into our top 3. Today's top 3 is top 3 iconic sports jerseys. Now, this is iconic to you as a person. Your opinion doesn't mean that, oh, this is the most iconic of all time. No, it's just if you ever wanted it, if you bought it, whatever, choose that. Thanks for all the support on all social media, so Instagram, all that stuff. Follow us on Spotify and Apple Podcasts, wherever you listen to your podcast. And also follow us on Twitch because Tuesday nights is fun and we get to show you guys pictures and communicate with the chat, and we're just growing, so it's gonna be here when we're small, so we can love
here,
you
be
when we're
square.
tall. Okay, so that's my new
What?
saying.
What did you
I have
say?
no idea. I said be here when we're small so we can love you when we're tall. That's the only thing I could rhyme. Other than that, let's get into our
Domo
top
Carlos
3.
didn't like that one.
Yeah, they're older.
I don't get it.
Yeah, so we're gonna move our top 3. Chris's pick this week was the top 3 iconic jerseys. Everybody in the chat, go ahead and put your choices there. Chris, we will start off with you, then Carlos, then Domo, and then I'll close out and I'll read the chat, or you can read the chat afterwards. Chris, go ahead.
Okay, mine is gonna be controversy all around. My number 3 is actually one of their newer jerseys, and Carlos, don't hate me, but I love their jersey, and it's the Space City uniforms from the Astros. I am a huge fan of those, bro.
I like
Those are so nice. Those
Those are
are
good
so
colors.
nice. My
Carlos
number
looks
2.
pissed.
Oh, he is. He is. Another reason for him not to like me. My number 2 is the Toronto Raptors. Their 98 and 99 jerseys, the purple ones to be exact. Those are straight fire, bro. And my number 1, I own it and I love it. I've never
knew it.
even worn it.
I knew it.
And it's my Yankees Derek Jeter number 2 retirement jersey, the one with that says respect on the badge. I own it and I've never worn it, and that is my favorite jersey of all time.
Yeah.
That's me.
You know how you said we weren't gonna have any similar ones? 2 of those were mine.
Oh, never mind.
All right, Carlos, go ahead, bro.
I'm gonna start with the third one, the Jerry West. Jerry West jersey would be pretty iconic to own. The second one, I think, but the Joe Montana, his Norton Dame when he played for Norton Dame
That's a good one.
with the fighting, and I think I'm gonna go with the number 8 jersey at the number 1 for sure.
Yeah.
Nice. Any color specific or no?
The yellow one, the yellow one at home.
Yeah.
I feel like the home jerseys, any team is always a better look. The home jersey is always better. My favorite teams, I don't like their aways. I love their homes.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, so my turn.
Yep.
Domo.
So I just put it together. I just put it together right now. Can I do a double up of like a player and a logo, and then player logo, player logo?
No,
Yep.
no, you cannot.
What are the rules to this game?
There are no rules.
All right, then I'm gonna do it then. Okay, so this is gonna be number 3 on both sides. I'm gonna say number 3 as a player. I'd say Tom Brady, just because of what he's accomplished, especially in the recent last decade and a half, 2 decades. It's fresh in the memory, so I'd say Tom Brady. Along with number 3, I'd say the Detroit Red Wings logo. That's old school,
yeah.
original 6 hockey team, and it's been the same logo ever. They do little changes, but it's the same logo ever since, and it still looks dope as fuck. Number 2, I was gonna say Derek Jeter, iconic player, storied franchise. I mean, y'all all know, y'all love baseball, y'all all know. And then number 2 on the logo side, I was going to say the Boston Celtics. Again, old school. You got the little Irish man with the pipe and looks dope. Then the number 1's going to be a tie for the player. Obviously, Michael Jordan and Kobe. I feel like that's the top one. I mean, it's a tie for the top. I mean,
Yeah.
argue who's the best player, but their jerseys got to be tied.
Yeah.
And then for the logo, just iconic and old school as it gets is the New York Yankees, the pinstripe, all that.
Yep.
Top hat with the bats, that's old school. So
Yeah.
there you go.
Yeah. All right. So in the chat before going to mine, Sam said Pete Rose jersey. All right. Thanks for rubbing that in. And then Joel said 1997 Cruz Azul away kit, 2005 Arsenal home kit, and he said any Kobe jersey. So yeah, those are good. And then he said, Domo, do you still have that Brett Favre jersey?
Mm-hmm.
Yep, he does.
I'll wear it
Yeah.
next week. I got it.
There you go. He's gonna wear it next week. So tune in next week, Tuesday nights,
Bye.
8:30 Central Standard Time.
You never heard of him?
Yeah.
You never heard of him.
So I'm gonna go with mine as number
Exactly.
3. So I'm gonna switch it a little bit. I'm gonna go with the old school Houston Rockets logo.
Nice.
I really like their either one really, even the one with the rocket ship or the one that just says rockets across the board. I
pretty
think
iconic, too.
either one you can go with either one. Like give me a T-Mac jersey in that. You know what I mean? The way
Charles
I would,
Barkley.
or yeah, or Charles. And then I
Well,
would
no,
go
it's Charles
number.
Barkley.
I would go number 2. I'm going to emphasize on the same Raptors jersey, but it has to be the Vince Carter 15, though. Give me the Vince Carter number on there. And then my number 1 was also Derek Jeter, number 2. Any one of his jerseys, home or away, were just I have a deep love for that.
have a hard on?
number. Yeah, I got a hard on for it.
Get your hands out of your pants. Get your hands.
And then Steven
Say that.
says Mexico Azteca soccer jersey, K24 Laker, of course, Mighty Ducks alternate away jersey. Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, any Kobe jersey would be my honorable mention.
Oh,
really.
Mighty Ducks is a good one. That is a
Yeah,
good jersey.
The Mighty Ducks ones is a good one. Also, I do like, which is weird that I like this, but I like the LA Kings jerseys for some reason.
Yeah.
I like them. Anybody have honorable mentions before we close out?
Obviously Dodgers.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Fernando Valenzuela one.
Okay.
And
I would
like
go-
you said, the Mighty Ducks, that is a good jersey.
Yeah.
I don't know why they
think-
won't go to that. The new Ducks jerseys, it's like their bill, like the Ducks
Yeah, it's
or
weird.
beak, I guess. It's
Yeah.
weird, but it's shaped like a D, like it's weird.
Yeah.
I like it.
Another honorable mention for me is gonna be Red Sox, Dustin Pedroia.
Oh, that's a good one. Or David Ortiz, I would take that one.
Or
too.
David Ortiz too.
Yeah.
Like, Papi.
Yeah, I would also like a since Chris, I know I saw your Arsenal one, but a Thierry Henry Arsenal jersey would be dope to have.
That'd be nice.
But those are stupid expensive to get. But yeah, that's our wrap up for today's episode. Our top 3 iconic jerseys. Thanks for everybody that came in and chatted in on everything. We appreciate all the support. Thanks for always joining us on Tuesday nights. We know you guys could be watching porn or whatever you guys do, but you guys come in and watch.
Let me see your hands, Misa.
And then you watch Four
They
Men.
still-
So
they
there you go.
still-
Almost
they probably
it's
still
almost
will.
the same thing.
Everybody, show your hands. Everybody, show your hands. What are y'all doing? Where's the
only
other
got
hand
one.
at, Misa?
I don't, so thanks for joining us. Follow us on all social media. Again, we're trying to expand that more. Just it's hard coming up with ideas to get everything flowing, but share it with a friend. Share the podcast with a friend. Share our links with a friend. Like, subscribe on YouTube. Do whatever you guys can to push it forward. We are coming up with an idea to revamp our logo now that Domo's back in. So just FYI, we are changing the logo a little bit more back to normal, and we are going to come up with some jerseys. I think initially we probably won't sell them, but we'll just hand them out to our fans that have been following for so long. So thanks again for all the support. Chris is going to take us out with an outro. We will be back next Tuesday, 8:30 p.m. Central Standard Time on Twitch, reviewing the call on every social media platform you can think of. Thanks again, guys. We'll see you next week.